Breitling recently descended on London with their debut of Breitling Summit. Designed as a new way for Breitling to communicate with members of the press, retail partners and distributors, the Breitling Summit acts as a follow-up to Baselworld, with an extended look at some of the latest models to be added to the Breitling's range. Kern has only been CEO of Breitling for around 12 months now, but it's fair to say he has had a big impact on the brand, including a completely new marketing direction. One of the main announcements of the summit was the new Premier collection. This new collection sees the rebirth of the Premier name, which is now honoured with an impressive collection of truly new for Breitling watches. Let's take a quick look at some of the new models released. First up is the Premier Bo1 Chronograph in 42mm. So this is actually the flagship model for the Premier collection. As I mentioned, coming with a 42mm wide, this new Premier Bo1 is one which is extremely clean and simple. The dial features a bright silver finish, acting as a backdrop for the two black subdials on the piece. The 3 o'clock subdial keeps track of the chronograph minutes, and the 9 o'clock subdial reads the seconds. We find a date window at 6 o'clock, keeping an uber clean aesthetic. A red tip chronograph hand and red tachymeter add a dash of colour to the piece. The new simple Breitling B logo sits proudly on the dial of this in-house Caliber 01 powered chronograph. If you're not sure on the silver version, a blue edition is also available, finished in a sunburst blue with dark grey subdials and tachymeter. So I actually really enjoy this new Premier Bo1. It's a nice and simple chronograph with wide appeal, executed really well. The inclusion of the date and the 42mm case width is right on trend with the current market, so I'm glad to see Breitling slightly move away from the 44mm sizes. This is a solid addition to the Breitling lineup with room to grow and expand. Breitling continued to build on its accurate timekeeping legacy with another chronograph joining the party. The Premier Chronograph 42 takes everything the Bo1 does and simply adds to it with the addition of a chronograph hour hand at 6 o'clock. The minute hand is still present but has moved to 12, and the seconds subdial keeps its place at 9 o'clock. Once again we see a date window at 6, framed well in that chronograph hour hand subdial, and the Breitling branding moves to 3 o'clock. You'll be able to order your new Premier chronograph with either a choice of an alligator leather or nubuck strap with white stitching. Alternatively, there is also the stainless steel bracelet as quite a standard option. Given the choice between this and the Bo1, I think the Bo1 wins it for me. However, I do enjoy the addition of a silver tachymeter here, and a wider choice of straps is nice to see. The Breitling Premier Automatic 40 is the next watch to be released at Breitling Summit. This model looks to be the first signs of Breitling going further than just bringing the new Premier name back to these new models. With its sub-seconds at 6 o'clock, bright white seconds track, and the lack of no date, this model is clearly designed to hark back to Breitling's heritage in a modern way. The Breitling B on the dial is now seen in the gold colourway as well. It's sticking to some core DNA traits to bring a model to the range that looks to open up to Breitling's new customers. Coming in at 40mm wide and with 3 dial options, blue, silver or a dark grey, this new watch looks to be their attempt at competition for the likes of Rolex, Omega and Tudor, coming in at just £4,000. A contrasting second track complete with 60 finished in red, along with the seconds hand tip also in red, feels somewhat out of place on this simple model. Let's hope some real hands-on time can really solidify this watch's identity. Much like the Premier Chronograph and Bo1, this day and date models look to build on where the automatic left off. Similar features to the automatic are present, with hands, indices, seconds track and dial configuration feeling very uncluttered. Once again we see the addition of red to the seconds track 60 and the tip of the seconds hand, yet is combined with rose gold accents. The Premier day and date watches are available with either a black or silver dial and feature either a stainless steel bracelet, nubuck strap or an alligator leather strap. To me, this day and date isn't necessarily doing anything wrong, maybe the addition of the red, but it's not really doing anything that well. However, the price is around the same as the automatic model, so it's a pretty good value proposition when you compare it to other competitors out there offering the same complication. For me, this next release from Breitling is probably their best from their first ever Breitling Summit. Celebrating Breitling and Bentley Motors' long-standing partnership, the flagship Premier model received the Bentley motor treatment. Previously, collaborative models were presented in a separate Breitling for Bentley collection. However, for this model and future Bentley limited editions, they will be introduced in Breitling's existing watch family, further emphasising Breitling seeing the value in this collaboration. Further features that distinguish this watch from all others are the engraved plate inscribed with Bentley name on the left side of the case, inspired by the dashboard of the supercharged 1929 blower Bentley. Once again, we see the 3 o'clock subdial keeping track of the chronograph minutes and the 9 o'clock subdial that reads the seconds. This is my favourite pick of the bunch due to the refreshed feel it gives for Breitling. It's not just the Premier range that was announced at the summit, with the brand new boutique Navitimer Retropant 45 being announced. Housed in a big, bold 45mm stainless steel case, it's distinguished by a grey dial, while its hour markers and hour minutes are coated with superluminova. There's also a new Super Ocean with the Heritage 2 Chronograph 44 Outer Known, celebrating the brand's partnership with Outer Known, a sustainable clothing brand committed to improving environmental conditions for the entire planet. This watch features a new strap, which uses an innovative material created from nylon waste, one source of which is fishing nets from the ocean found around the world. Although this watch isn't for me, you can't argue with the ethical drive behind Breitling and this new release. My overall thoughts of Breitling's first summit are pretty positive. I think Kern has continued to create a range of watches with a lot more mass appeal design-wise, as well as appealing to markets they didn't really have an impact on previously. The building blocks of a new solid brand range have been laid. Whether you're a fan or not, I think the next few years are going to be a very interesting one for Breitling. As a fan of Kern's current impact, I'll eagerly be waiting to see Breitling's next move. What are your thoughts on these new releases from Breitling? Let us know in the comments below, and if you did enjoy the video, please leave a like. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.